In the quest to cultivate a resilient and prosperous Japan, the inhabitants of the land of the rising sun have embraced, safeguarded, and enhanced numerous traditional cultural values, notably the indomitable spirit of Bushido. This resilience and determination have garnered admiration worldwide. The Bushido ethos, intrinsic to the samurai tradition, is often heralded as a guiding philosophy for life and a reservoir of immense strength, empowering the Japanese populace to rise steadfastly from the ashes of the Second World War. Samurai and the Bushido spirit. In Japanese culture, the term samurai originates from the verb saburao, signifying the concept of protection and service. Over time, samurai evolved into a distinct societal class, permitted to wield weapons like swords and bows while fulfilling their obligations. In 1185, during the Kamakura era, Yoritomo Minamoto, previously a martial artist from the Attire clan, was appointed as shogun by the emperor, marking the ascension of martial artists, known as bushi, to prominence as the leading class in Japan. They enjoyed numerous privileges and played an increasingly significant role in the cultural landscape of the country. Until the Muromachi period, 1338 to 1573, martial artists sought to bridge the gap between their common origins and noble social status by acquiring extensive knowledge of practices such as the tea ceremony, kendo, Chinese Buddhism, and Zen. By the end of the Edo period, 1600 to 1868, a stringent code of conduct and living standards known as Bushido had emerged, representing a philosophical framework of ideals and moral values that every samurai was expected to adhere to. Contrary to common belief, samurai and Bushido are not synonymous. Rather, they complement each other in significance. The term way in Bushido symbolizes a lifestyle and a path of training that samurai must embody in both thought and action. The principles of Bushido are distilled from Shinto, Buddhism, Confucianism, and the philosophy of Mencius, reflecting the adaptability and harmony in the assimilation of cultural values within Japan. Costumes and weapons of samurai warriors. The attire of the samurai, including the choice of fabric, motifs, and patterns, serves as a visual representation of the esteemed attributes of the samurai spirit, epitomizing the elegance of one of Japan's most noble classes. The traditional attire worn by Japanese samurai typically comprises a simplified version of the kimono, hakama, featuring only 2 layers and minimalistic details, in contrast to the ornate complexity of traditional kimonos. The distinctiveness of samurai kimonos lies in their lightweight yet noble and luxurious fabric. During battles, samurai often donned armor weighing approximately 15 to 20 kilos, adorned with patterns reflecting the fierce temperament of the samurai spirit on the battlefield. 2 common types of samurai armor are the domaru and yoroi, tailored respectively for infantry soldiers and cavalry, with yoroi including helmets and shoulder guards. In addition to their attire, weaponry is an integral aspect of a samurai's identity. Unlike the ninja of the Kamakura and Edo periods, samurai weapons were somewhat smaller in scale, but carried significant honor and symbolism for their wielders. The katana sword serves as the quintessential weapon of the Japanese samurai, boasting a length of about 60 centimeters and a handle designed for optimal comfort during combat. Meanwhile, the odachi, a longsword, is favored by samurai for its effectiveness in long-range attacks while mounted on horseback. While the katana is the primary combat weapon, The wakizashi holds a revered status as the ceremonial sword of the Japanese samurai. Though not utilized in combat, the wakizashi is primarily employed for ceremonial beheading of defeated opponents. In addition to the wakizashi, the aikuchi dagger symbolizes the honor of female samurai and is often associated with acts of ritual suicide to preserve one's dignity and purity. The Bushido spirit of the samurai. The samurai likened their life to the fleeting beauty of cherry blossoms. Despite their brief lifespan, they embody profound values, shining brightest when they bloom under the spring sun and gracefully return to nature upon the wind's gentle embrace. Just as cherry petals dance in the wind, the life of a samurai holds its own beauty, with both life and death carrying distinct grace. Fearless in the face of mortality, samurai embrace courage and bravery, their demeanor as serene as falling flower petals. For Japanese samurai, adherence to the 7 principles of the samurai spirit is paramount. The noble responsibilities they bear ensure that the path to true samuraihood is fraught with challenges, testing one's resolve and valor against the stringent requirements of their code. In medieval Japan, all samurai were bound by 7 moral principles, representing the essence of the samurai spirit, with values centered on honesty, integrity, and self-respect. These principles serve as the guiding light for those who walk the path of the warrior. Seven virtues of Bushido. First virtue, the justice. The foremost moral precept that samurai warriors adhere to is justice. To them, nothing surpasses the nobility and righteousness of upholding justice. Their standards for assessing honor must be unequivocal. Faith in oneself and righteousness serve as the guiding beacons for samurai to navigate the correct course. Self-esteem must be placed above all things else. Samurai warriors eschew petty desires and temptations, ensuring they do not falter. They steadfastly uphold the spirit of justice, employing reason to combat malevolent and savage forces. Second virtue, heroic courage. Courage is a mandatory quality for samurai. If you die, you must die beautifully. That is also one of the qualities of samurai. They are always ready to face all dangers. Death is very gentle for them. Living in seclusion, akin to a turtle withdrawing into its shell, does not constitute a living at all. A genuine warrior must possess heroic courage, despite its inherent risks. It entails embracing life with utmost intensity, richness, and splendor. Heroic courage isn't reckless. Rather, it is characterized by intelligence and robustness. Third virtue, benevolence and compassion. A true samurai must be someone who possesses a noble heart of tolerance. The pinnacle of their benevolence lies in being willing to forgive enemies when necessary. They are not, as most people. They develop a power that must be used for good. They have compassion. They help their fellow men at every opportunity. If an opportunity does not arise, they go out of their way to find one. The spirit of Bushido directed the samurai towards magnanimous beauty, seeing strength as a common weapon, not personal benefits and grievances. Mercy is the strongest weapon that helps them fight against evil forces, stand by, and help weak people. Fourth virtue, respect. Respect is one of the noble qualities that helps samurai receive respect from their enemies. The samurai always believes that the highest courtesy is respect. True warriors have no reason to be cruel. They do not need to prove their strength. Warriors are not only respected for their strength in battle, but also by their dealings with others. The true strength of a warrior becomes apparent during difficult times. Fifth virtue, honesty. When warriors say that they will perform an action, it is as good as done. Nothing will stop them from completing what they say they will do. They do not have to give their word. They do not have to promise. Speaking and doing are the same action. Sixth virtue, honor. Warriors have only one judge of honor and character, and this is themselves. Decisions they make and how these decisions are carried out are a reflection of who they truly are. You cannot hide from yourself. Honor is always a quality that samurai are extremely proud of and are willing to protect at all costs. For them, the sense of dignity is instilled in their blood. The Bushido spirit gives samurai the virtue of taking responsibility for their own actions. Once honor and self-esteem are damaged, death is always an act to prove the purity of the soul. This is also the root cause of seppuku, a traditional form of suicide of samurai, to preserve the purity of the soul and personal honor. And the seventh virtue, duty and loyalty. Warriors are responsible for everything that they have done and everything that they have said and all of the consequences that follow. They are immensely loyal to all of those in their care. To everyone that they are responsible for, they remain fiercely true. Dedication, loyalty to the leader, and becoming a shining example for subordinates to follow are tasks that any samurai must seriously carry out. A samurai is forced to fight with his intellect and conscience by showing loyalty and devotion to the assigned task, helps them limit conflicts related to interests as well as power struggles. The samurai spirit stands as a symbol of the resilience and determination inherent in the Japanese populace. While the samurai class no longer holds its former prominence in Japanese society, the virtues of courage, loyalty, and other noble qualities attributed to the samurai spirit remain cherished cultural values in Japan. Embedded within the philosophy of life for the entire Japanese nation, the samurai spirit emphasizes honor and self-respect at its core. The people of Japan persistently endeavor to elevate themselves and construct a more prosperous nation, drawing inspiration from the timeless principles embodied by the ancient samurai way of life.